Well, the theme of respect, in a way, is intrinsically linked with photography, because to be a photojournalist without having a huge amount of respect for the people you photograph, your work ends up meaningless and nothing. Although I'd photographed many stories that were related to young women, I have never photographed any young women who were mothers or were having children. So in Nagorno-Karabakh, which is where I went to shoot my project, the government have introduced something they call the Birth Encouragement Program in 2008. And this program gives cash payments to couples when they get married and for each child that they have. In the last 3.5 years, the birth rate in Karabakh has spiked by about 30%. In a way, this story ties in with the theme of respect in two ways. Firstly, the thing that people in Karabakh respect more than anything is the idea of the family and one's role in it. Gender roles are very defined, particularly within the home. So the most respectable position that a woman can hold is to be a mother, to be a good mother, to bear children, to care for her family, and to keep her home. And that's what the young women I met were doing. But it also has wider repercussions, because the reason the government have introduced the Birth Encouragement Program is in a way to substantiate and increase their legitimacy. Today, the Karabakh government celebrates 20 years of independence, but remains unrecognized by the rest of the world. They see raising the birth rate and increasing the population to pre-war figures as a way to gain legitimacy and to gain respect in the international community. This is a photograph of a young couple, Artak and Amine, on their wedding day, and the photograph was taken in Katsabert village in Nagorno-Karabakh. The scene is their wedding table at the head of the celebrations at the reception afterwards. It's quite interesting as well. In Karabakh, what happens is when a young couple get married, the bride goes to live with her husband's family. So there's a lot more going on this day than simply the wedding. Amine has just moved from her village, which is 4 hours drive away, to her husband's family, where she will live and care for his parents for the rest of her life. So that's a pretty big deal. And she looks a bit sad. And all of the girls I photographed on their wedding days were a little bit sad as well, because they were leaving a huge thing behind. So Artak and Amine receive around about 600 euros as their wedding payment from the Karabakh government. And subsequently, they will be given a payment for each child that they have. The average income in Karabakh is 35 euros a month. So in a way, that's quite a big deal. Babies are often photographed as part of family albums, but to make a photograph of babies in a reportage context was something I struggled with, because often they're so cute. And even though you don't want to make a cute picture, you can't help it. This was one of them having their afternoon nap, and it was just so interesting because of the bedspread. And also this picture was taken on the bed that her mother and father bought with the cash payment as part of the Birth Encouragement Program. This is the records department at Stepanakert Maternity Hospital. It's the biggest hospital in the country, and each file represents one patient, one woman and her children. And these are just the current patients. So it gives you an idea of the amount of women who are coming through the maternity hospital. About 6 or 7 babies are born a day there on average. So for a population of 140,000, that's a pretty high number. This picture is important as part of the series because it speaks about the number of children that are being born, but in a perhaps a less obvious way. Also, in terms of pacing in a picture story, details are important, and simple pictures, straightforward pictures that give you a moment to breathe before going back into the home or back to the maternity hospital, or seeing the children bathing or the wedding. So certainly, yeah, it's very important in terms of pacing. This is Narina Hakobian. She's 19 years old, and she's bathing her daughter Angelina, who is around about 2. Narina had just had a second child. Both children were part of the birth encouragement program, and so she was given payments for them. And I met Narina in hospital and then went back to stay with her and her family in her village for several days. She got married at 16 because she had a very unhappy home life, and it was a way to escape her father and her stepmother, so she went to live with her husband and his family. This photograph was taken in Stepanakert Maternity Hospital, and it shows 3 young women shortly after having given birth. They're sharing a ward before being discharged. And the amount of respect that is demonstrated towards young women in Karabakh is actually outstanding. Everybody that I spoke to was aware of the birth encouragement program and the fact that it was working and that there was a baby boom. And these women were highly revered for bearing the generation of the future. It's why I called the project the National Womb. There was always a sense of a collective effort and patriotism for their country. So that intrinsically fits with the theme respect.